banging that you're hearing? That's Shaun installing the cooker. So we're hooking it in. Now that the gas is done, we're ready to go. We can progress. So is the cooker in now?
Yeah.
It's installed and everything?
Yeah.
Woo! This is the trim that we think we're going to add on the edge just to kind of clean up the edges and just make it look like a little bit nicer finish. Nothing in the van is really silver, but we're just using this trim around the cooker because it's very much part of the cooker. It's gonna look like that. And then that's gonna go on this side, on the bottom, and on the other side as well. I started looking at the plumbing. We were gonna do a whole video on the plumbing, but it honestly went so quick. I feel like there isn't really a whole video's worth of content in there. So I'll just quickly show you what I did so that you can see what the steps are. It wasn't complicated at all once Shaun had kind of explained to me the very basics of it. It was fun. It was kind of like playing like some sort of Connect game, like just getting all the pieces together and stuff. But I'll show you how it works real quick. Let's go. So I don't know if you remember, but yesterday when we were putting the copper pipe, there was a bunch of plumbing down here. We took it out just so that we could like work on the copper pipe without it getting in the way. But what I did this morning was I continued it over here. So just like the copper pipe, we are getting it from this back garage area all the way to where the sink is going to be. The pipe comes in a roll like this. So I would just cut up the lengths I need and then use the little connector ones. You have like the L-shaped connectors, you have like long ones to do curves, and I would just cut the size I need, and we brought it all the way across, and then we brought it in here through a hole into the kitchen like the copper pipe, and it's just one straight line to the sink, which is right there. The sink is in right now, but obviously it's still kind of a temporary setup that we have going there right now. So all we have left to do in regards to that is Shaun has to cut a hole in the worktop for the tap, and then we can include the tap in. Once the tap is in, then we can finish plugging that up. Right now, it's just kind of like open and waiting for the tap. So we'll be able to connect them, and that should be the plumbing pretty much done. Hey, Tig. Meow. Oh, you little silent meow. Nothing came out, did it? Oh, oh big rubs. If you go up here and in there, you see that suitcase handle? The third cat is lying on that suitcase. He likes to come up here for peace and quiet.
Why don't you just let go of his brother?
There he is. What you doing up here? You hiding from the rest of the world? Yeah, listen to him purr. So as you can see, this is our countertop here. It's looking great. Shaun did a really good job in cutting it. The only thing that went down is you see this gap. Now that we have the stove in, it looks great. You can see the countertop really does a nice job of framing it. The only problem is he cut too much back here. So there's a really big gap here, which like look-wise isn't really the end of the world. But the thing is, if we're cooking food and food gets down there, we'd never be able to get it out. So we're just trying to figure out what we want to do with this problem. So you just saw it on the countertop. We're about to put it down. For now, we've decided just to leave the problem. Aesthetically, it doesn't really bother us. And I don't know, we just think we want to progress and we'll figure it out later, which might be a mistake, but whatever, we're progressing for now. The back of the stove just has, like, he didn't cut it super straight. It's just got a bit of a squiggly thing going. So he's just gonna fix it. So it should take only 20 minutes to put the tap and the sink together, is what it says.
Barely.
And I feel like you're fairly astute. Like, you should do it quicker than the average, if anything.
Installation. Step 1. Remove the fixing nut. Okay. And insert the faucet into the hole of the basin. Well, I don't have a hole in my basin.
pretty good.
What's step 2?
That was step 1?
Yeah.
Oh my god, that was so stressful. Shaun is one of the most nimble people I know. He's so agile, and he just like manages to squeeze himself into every possible corner. Okay, so we got the tap in. It's looking good. As you can see, it's a pretty nice tap, and it has an extremely long faucet thing that kept falling and getting in the way. So hopefully that sits back into its spot where it's supposed to. We actually got our tap off of Amazon. It really wasn't that expensive. I don't even remember the brand name, but I think it was only like 30 pounds, which is like 50 American-ish dollars for people who aren't British watching. So now we got it in fitting properly.
Step 3. Connect the pumping hose until it is tight. Okay.
You know what the pumping hose is now?
I have no idea. I think it's this. There's going to be a problem.
What? It's too long. It's going to get stuck on our gray water tank.
Map, map.
Cayute.
I don't know.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
I'm sure I'll be fine. Okay.
Oh, you guys are about to see how we shower, or how we're gonna shower, and why we designed our van this way. So, yep, folks, that's how we're gonna shower. It might be too close to the van. That water would get everywhere.
Like we could put something that goes here kind of thing.
Yeah. So there's these little gray pieces that go into the piping that before you put the water in, you don't need them for it to work, but it kind of stabilizes and like solidifies the tube that the water goes through. So I didn't put them in initially when I did the plumbing this morning, just because once you put them in, you can't take them out again. So we just wanted to make sure that we were happy with the whole circuit before putting them in, so we didn't waste any of them. So Shaun is adding those now, and then we're gonna go and try and turn the water on. I really hope it works. We need a win today. Cross your fingers for us.
There we go. You're welcome.
Hi. Hello. You just want to be in the way, don't you? You spent all day alone and now you're feeling more social. Yeah, you are. Aren't you, Garfield? Look at me. Look at the camera. Give the viewers what they want. Alright guys, we are about to test our water for the first time, and we're very hesitant because neither of us have done plumbing before, so we have put rags everywhere where there's a connector. So we are leaking a little bit. Trying to sort that out now. So as you just saw, we were about to test the water. Well, we did test the water, and at the very first spot, it leaked. Woo! So then we come to take the water tank out just to see like where it's leaking and stuff. And we realized that where we put the gas locker, you can no longer take the water tank out. It's in the way by like this much, by the teeniest amount. So we managed to get it out by taking some of the border of like the little toilet cubicle out and then getting it out through there. And now Shaun is trying to figure out what the problem is. So hopefully we figure it out. But it is well past 6 o'clock now, so the day is almost done. So we'll see what we figure out. Okay, so we think we figured out what the problem was. This hole here that Shaun just blocked. This little guy here. This is where the water was originally coming out of, but like the very, very, very first step. And Shaun thinks that if we put sealant on it, it won't leak. Is that something you should have done from the beginning?
Basically, I forgot. I meant to put sealing on it. I just forgot.
So once we put the sealant on there, it does take a long time to dry. So we're going to do that and then probably call it the end of the day. But we still got a lot done today.
Plumbing testing will be postponed till tomorrow.
Yeah. Testing will be postponed till tomorrow. Let's recap what we did today.
Right, first thing tomorrow.
First thing in the morn, we looked at our countertop again. We finished pretty much the gas. We made a huge chunk of work on our plumbing. We fit the cooker in. We fit the tap. I feel like we did a lot. Good morning, guys. We are back. Hope you slept well. Okay, so Shaun has been working this morning. He has gotten loads done while I was doing some stuff inside. He started getting our LEDs together, which is kind of exciting because I don't know if we said that, but we're putting LEDs under the overhead cupboards. He started doing that. He started wiring a few things, so now more of our switches work. So look at these cool LED lights that we've put underneath. We just think it'll give the van some personality. They change colors. They can pretty much do whatever we want them to. They're gonna go all the way down on both sides. Shaun is working on it right now. I think it makes our van look like the inside of Space Mountain, which I think is pretty darn cool.
And now the moment we've all been waiting for.
Time to test the plumbing. Only one more time. Try to test the plumbing. Okay, quick recap in case you were confused about what happened yesterday. So we came to test the plumbing for the first time. We put water in the giant tank that lives in the garage of the van, and it leaked. What leaked wasn't the actual plumbing circuit that we created. What leaked was the hole that we had put in the tank itself, where the water first comes out of the tank and goes into the pipe. We realized it was because Shaun forgot to seal it. Duh, silly mistake. So we have now sealed it. It dried overnight, and now we are filling up the tank again outside just to make sure that that isn't leaking before we put it back in the van to test it with the actual piping circuit. All right, we are testing the water system again. So there's loads of water in there. Ready?
Yes.
What's happening?
Cool. So now this system is fully pressurized up to here.
So there's water up until that point?
Right up to here, yeah. So now we're going to go right up to the tap.
Okay.
Should be up to the tap now.
Hey!
No, that's not good.
So it looks like something leaked underneath and now there's water. So it sounds like our first and our last step were wrong, but everything in the middle was right. Hopefully it doesn't mess up the wood of the kitchen unit too much. There's another one here if you need another one.
Thank you. Woo, hands up who loves plumbing.
No hands up here.
Let's do this again. Whenever you're ready. Keep open.
Say when. We thought that we could get away without having an accumulator, and that's what like keeps the pressure constant throughout the whole system. But clearly we need one because of that really fun spurting that's coming out. So Shaun is ordering one now.
Any part of the plumbing that I've done has leaked. Any part of the plumbing Mychele has done hasn't leaked.
Woo! She's an expert!
We all know who is the plumber around here.
Me! I never thought that I would be boasting over my plumbing abilities, but here I am. Also, just to keep you posted on more what's happening, Shaun fixed that one spot, and then we came to empty the sink and it leaked again. So we are plumbers, yeah. Next, Tigger shall narrate what needs to be done to complete the kitchen. In order to complete the kitchen, we must put the fridge in. In order to put the fridge in, we must finish putting the plug socket that goes on the edge of the couch on the other side of the kitchen. That is what they are doing now. I'm feeling quite shy. I don't want to discuss any more. So as Tig so beautifully just explained, yes, we are in the process of putting up a few more plug sockets because we need to put those in before we put the fridge in. And obviously if we want to complete the kitchen, the fridge needs to go in. So what we're doing is on the left side, on the driver's side couch bench, on the wall that's like attached to the kitchen. We're putting 2 plug sockets. We're putting a normal one, like a 3-pronger guy, and then we're putting a 12-volt one as well. This is for our laptops, and then I wanted our laptops use a 12-volt, and then I wanted a normal one as well for my straightener for days that I want to look pretty in the van. So that's what we're doing now. Isn't that right, Tig? That is very right, though I'm not discussing it at this current moment in time. Alright guys, we are finishing for the day. It is almost 7. Kind of a crazy day. You saw a lot of the stuff, but we fixed the plumbing, which is fantastic. So that's ready to go. Shaun got these funky LED lights going that are behind me here. We installed a few of these guys. Shaun is cutting the worktop some more. Once that is done, this will be here, this will be here. We wanted to finish the kitchen today. It's taking longer than we thought. There's so many tiny little things that would keep being like, oh, we have to do that before we screw it down, or oh, we have to do that before we put the fridge in, or oh, we have to do that before we screw down the countertop. So we're getting there. And we'll see you in the morning. Alright guys, it's the final countdown. Do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do. We're almost done the kitchen. Here we go. Step 1, put the kitchen in. Secure the kitchen cables. So we attach them with these little guys, and this is what we used for the plumbing as well as the gas pipe as well. Just screws through this little hole right into whatever you're securing it to, makes it nice and clean. Step 4, screw down the countertop. Alright guys, change of plans. Fast forward your minds 2 days. So what you just saw, step 4, putting in the countertop, that was 2 days ago. I got a kind of last minute recall, callback audition in London. So yesterday I zoomed to London on the train. Shaun kept working on the van. He got so much work done, but he didn't vlog any of it because he just wanted to zoom through, which is fab. So let's recap. Step 5, put in the fridge. Step 6, put in the drawers. Step 7, sand the worktop. Step 8, coat the worktop. Let's go see what he did. All right, guys, let's have a look here. So as you can see, the fridge is in. The drawers are in. We haven't added the handles to these guys yet because we just feel as we're constantly bringing things back and forth right now, still they could get damaged. So we're gonna wait. This is gonna be a door as well here, but we're waiting to do that last as well because we still need to access underneath. And obviously this is gonna be painted blue, which I'm just waiting to do when I bring all of the paint stuff out and we do touch-ups on everything. I don't know if you guys can tell from the camera, I think you can, but the oil that we use, its main purpose is just to protect and seal the countertop. It was supposed to be clear. It has made it much darker, which is not what we expected, but we do really like it. So I think it looks pretty dang good. We are going to do one more coat, but it has to dry for like 8 to 10 hours after each coat. So we do that at the end of the day so that no dust settles on it and that it happens overnight. Also, have you noticed what else Shaun did while I was away? Look at those cupboard doors, those overhead cupboard doors. Yeah. So this is a really funny story to tell you guys. I don't know if you remember us mentioning this like forever vlogs ago, but we had ordered the steel that had to go around the cooker, and we'd also ordered the steel that was supposed to go on the step here to like clean up this edge where the vinyl meets like the edge. I don't know if you remember us talking about that, but they'd never arrived in the mail. And we like complained and made a big fuss about it because obviously we paid for them and we were waiting for them to arrive and we needed them to progress before putting the kitchen in. Finally, the steel for the cooker arrived. As you guys know, you went through that whole journey with us, but we were still missing the piece here to cover the edge. And we were like, oh, we'll find another solution, whatever, we'll figure it out. We just have to progress. We drill the kitchen in, we put the kitchen in like you saw the other day. And then Shaun's mom says, Shaun, there is so much van stuff in the front porch. Can you please clear it or at least put it all in one area so that your van isn't taking over the entire house, which we kind of are? So he goes, sure, I'll clean this area. And at the very, very, very back of his pile, covered in things, what do we find? The steel piece. So it seems that it arrived when we weren't here. We don't know who signed for it, but no one really knew what it was. They just added it to the pile. We put stuff over the pile, never realizing it had arrived, and it's been here for weeks. So just goes to show how many things we're ordering for the van and how often the delivery men come to this house. But it's here, and now we can progress. So when we were doing our plumbing, I don't know if any of you guys remember, we talked about how we were going to need an accumulator because the water was like just to like regularize the water pressure, regulate the water pressure. So it came in the mail. So it's this guy. This is the regulator. No, this is the accumulator. Sorry. And now we are just including it into our plumbing system. So we've just taken it apart because before it was kind of over here and we just need to move it over here so that there's enough room for the accumulator to fit in. So something we haven't talked very much about is what we're doing with these back doors here, which you can obviously see when the doors is closed, when you're inside the van. We've thought about a couple different things. Right now they're just plywood, which we don't super mind and we'll probably leave for this trip just because of the sake of time, because we want to get going, and it doesn't look that bad because there is other wood element type things in the van. Shaun suggested a couple things. We thought about cladding it, we thought about carpeting it, and then Shaun suggested that we get like someone to paint like some sort of mural, either of like the Welsh and the Canadian flag, or of our favorite like Disney characters or something, because that's where we met. So we're still toying with that idea, but I just realized we'd never really talked about it. So what we're doing with these doors is still a bit of a mystery. Hey guys. All right, let me apologize in advance. Our vlogging has been really erratic the last 2 days just because we're trying so desperately to get things done. Our focus has really been on actually making progress on the van versus vlogging everything because that does slow us down a little bit. Now we are looking at that step. Remember that steel that we ordered, thought we never got, had really just lost and found? We're putting it into play now. So I'll show you what that means. So the step is going here, so you can really see my shadow. This is where the steel is going. Kind of like this guy here. You can't see it at all because of my shadow. Kind of like this guy here. Except he's not going to go as far down that way because we're about to cut it, but it'll just clean up this whole edge. Right?
Right.
Shaun, are you dying of heat and you're black on black on black today?
Just sweating it out. Just sweating it out.
I don't know if you can see these holes here. They were like cutouts. And we took the bolts out, and the idea is to take off this step so that we can slide the steel behind it. But of course some of the bolts are corroded, so it's just taking a second to get them out. So now we're taking this step out. It's probably going to be so gross under there. Is it catching?
It's just a very tight fit.
Does it bend at all? Okay, we'll be right back, folks. We're gonna problem solve. I see orange. Hi, Tick. What you doing? Oh my goodness. Are you cozy on there in the shade? Oh, you're pretty soon. You rest. How her go. One more time. All right, guys, that is where we're ending it for today. It is, what time is it? Like
Late.
7 o'clock. It's really hot today. It's gotta be at least 30 degrees and the sun is shining. And the way our van is parked at the end of the day, the sun is just like glaring on us. So we got that in. We're gonna finish putting in tomorrow, but we got some good progress done today.
The main thing is we have flowing gas.
Yeah, that's really important. So because I feel like we could not have left without that, but we could leave without a lot of other stuff. Yeah? All right, we're gonna leave that here for today. We will see you guys tomorrow.
Bye.
Night.
No.